All right.
You want to go first?
Yes.
We're
Hi,
back.
this is Scruffbox, coming to all things fat related. No, I'm just kidding. Coming at you with all things fat related. If that's something that interests you, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. And we are war torn. We are battle weary from this episode. It has been really weird, but
We almost cried over South Park. That's the thing that almost happened. And we forgot to do that intro too with the third video.
I know, but that's okay. Y'all get it.
Yeah.
I think they're really good to show because they show it.
Yeah.
You saw her in the last episode. She like
And then I saw
did
Lizzo's face. And I had to call her right away because I was about to lose it. Like,
yeah, that's not real. But okay, let's go ahead and start. We're just gonna jump in.
Yeah, we gotta get through this, guys. Last day in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this. Oh my God, what's going on? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm tired. I'm sabotaging myself so I can stay here longer.
It was like I saw her feelings.
Yeah.
And they were my feelings.
Yeah, I was starting to giggle in my head because I was remembering being at the beach. I was at the beach, getting the message, and getting on the phone. And I'm laughing next to you. You were humorously telling it at first. Yeah. Now you're a little bit emotionally telling it. But I just remember like, her face was my face. Like she's just like sobbing. And honestly, I went and watched it afterwards, and my thought was, am I just like the most unfeeling bitch ever? Because
am I a robot?
Yeah, because like you empathize to the point of it devastating you.
Yeah.
And I watched it and had no feelings. I was like, this is expected.
Yeah.
Like I'm so jaded. I'm just like, oh, of course they did. You know?
Do you think it was really empathetic?
No. I think she was projecting because I don't think Lizzo is, in general, she's not a super emotional person.
No.
She's very pragmatic, career driven.
She's kind of a classic 3.
Yeah. She's ambitious as hell. Like, you think that's the worst thing anybody said to her? No. Mm-mm. Especially behind closed doors. I mean, come on.
We just have to look at what Lizzo is as a person. She's more than just being fat. And like they always say, like, you're more than just being fat, but then you can't show me anything that you're more. Lizzo is like an expert high-end flutist or flautist. You know what I mean? She plays the flute. She's an amazing dancer. She's an amazing singer. She's very extroverted. And so she had all these other things going on in her life. This is just one more thing.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, yeah. Exactly. And she's probably been through drastically worse than a South Park episode. I don't even think it probably registers a 1 out of 10. I don't think it was anything for her because she probably has gotten so many, she's probably gotten so many hate comments and all this stuff throughout her entire career. Like, she doesn't care.
Doesn't care. No. Yeah. No, so one of the women was empathizing or I can't say these words. See, I don't have it. So I can't say. I'm joking. No, it's funny because I relate to the Rebecca girl in this situation because she's just like, I didn't care, and I feel like that's actually the more healthier, honest answer.
Well, I just don't think that there's actually any.
Or maybe she was in the position to actually project on her. She like actually saw it for what it was because that's not how Lizzo reacted. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think she just saw it for what it was.
And I was like, this is a major difference though of me and you.
Yeah.
You will feel things and you'll feel empathy and you'll put yourselves in their shoes to the nth degree. Whereas I'm like, wall up. Oh, I expected this shit. Like, this is why I don't trust people, you know, like this is why I just don't expect anything, you know? So we have 2 very different ways of dealing with it. Right.
Well, and I think too, that part of that is also like, I don't know that I was 100% feeling for Lizzo in that moment. I do know 100% that I was feeling for myself and I was feeling for every other girl like me.
Oh my God. Okay.
He's trying so hard to find the screen change. He's like triggered.
So tell us that, or tell me specifically, I'm just projecting on her. I don't have, you guys would think I'm so freaking psychic. It's like, no, I just understand the problem. It's not like I wasn't in it.
Oh my God.
I understand it.
It's not for me. It's for everybody else.
It's for me and for people like me. Yeah, because it's called projection.
Mm-hmm.
Lizzo didn't care. I don't know about Lizzo if she has that issue or not. I can't tell. I'd have to really do a deep dive on her. I think if she did, it would register differently.
She definitely overindulges, but
I'm
it
not sure.
doesn't seem like it's emotional because she does it like on camera and she's like, oh my gosh, this is so good. I like this. She's like a foodie.
I think if she did, it would be more so work stress related. I think it would show totally differently. I don't think it's an emotional thing.
I don't think it's a disorder for her. I think it's just like,
maybe not.
Maybe it could be hormonal and she's stress eating, as you said. Because like there's definitely times where I ate a lot of food when I was just like stressed. Like I was like, I needed to keep going. I'm working so hard. I need to like eat more food because I need the calories to keep the energy going. And because you have like these hormonal issues that you never reach the end of the hunger queue. But it's not emotional.
That's my intuition. If I look at her just from what I know, which again, I haven't done a deep dive. I haven't heard her talk about it all that much. I can't think of anything specific that I've seen where I'm like, that's totally there. If she did, I think it would be mild. I think it would be completely work-based. So it would have much more to do with the industry that she's in, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it would probably be developed later in life. So it wouldn't be as severe. It'd be something like that.
But here's the thing about this. This is the reason why I don't think it's there. Because she has shown her weight loss journey from the very beginning. She didn't disappear for a long while.
That's true.
And then come back with the new body. She's been showing you her body every step of the way. That's why a lot of people didn't notice she lost weight until it was like, oh my gosh, Lizzo lost weight. And they all think it was inspired by South Park. No, she was doing it for a year before this. Just you couldn't notice it as much. But she posted the whole journey.
And she may have been doing it more so for her brand and stuff too, which sometimes actors and actresses and stuff, they'll kind of have an image for their role. That might have been more her motivation. I completely agree with you. I don't see a super emotional component to it.
Yeah.
Regardless.
I get to what you're saying too. I think what likely happened, because she was like, oh my gosh, she finished this huge tour. That's honestly what probably instigated her to lose weight, because she was before then, when she didn't have to tour that much, it wasn't a physical thing. It wasn't a physical reality, but then it became a physical reality. And she's like, I need to be healthier to do the thing that I want to do.
And then she just was like, okay, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it could also be a more cynical interpretation is the tides changed and she changed with the tide, but that's still, it's not quite the same thing.
There's
something else.
Yeah.
It isn't. I don't think it's, like I said, and I'm not projecting on her. I don't know.
I think if you look at her body type, she looks like somebody who has PCOS. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point she comes out with it. And so that could be enough to be like, I just want to eat because I need food.
Yeah. And then she could just be tired and she's eating a lot because she's tired.
Yeah.
Because that does happen too.
But she still followed the pattern that you talked about. Eventually you get to a point where like, I can't do this anymore. I have to make a change. And she did that. And she's showing everybody every step of the way. So it's like, if she did have it, she would have just pushed past it.
Yes. And I think it would be extremely mild. And I don't even know if she would have it anymore because she doesn't talk about it that way. She's very blatant about it. She doesn't hide it. She doesn't seem, part of it is like you want to cover up and things like that, or you overly do it. Yeah. But she doesn't really.
She does overly expose herself, but she's always been like that. But then she'll cover up too. And so it's not like she's across the entire spectrum. It's like, we always make this joke about, actually, I'm not gonna tell the joke. It'd be too obvious. Never mind. We'll keep it to ourselves. But I think when she is so public that she's showing exactly what she's eating and even when she overeats, she's showing herself overeating and saying, she's like, I just like the food. I'm eating it. So there's no surprise there. She's never once claimed, I'm fat for no reason.
She doesn't. Yes, exactly. So I think that's definitely, like I said, I would never just outright say she did. I don't have enough evidence that she does.
We don't have any evidence that she didn't do it. We have more evidence we have more evidence that shows that it's unlikely.
It could be hormonal.
It could be,
There's
but it's
a possibility.
Yeah, it could be disorder, but it's unlikely. But we can't say for sure because we don't know her. She's
and she is clearly athletic and stuff too. So And I do see that stuff. So that means she does have muscle on her. Like there's stuff going on. So I think she's not the same. I think the biggest thing is that she's not the same as that girl.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Yeah, exactly. Same. You're right. Because she's completely, like, let's say they're technically the same size, she's still a completely different body type than they are. Because you're right. She has muscle. She's athletic. She dances. She was probably, if they all weigh the same weight, Lizzo would still be healthier because she'd have more muscle. Body comp matters.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Other person like me, all of us, everybody who watches and sees the dialogue that's out there, it's people like us that have to watch our bodies. And I realize that this is not that I realize that this is a universal thing, right? It's not just fat girls, right? It is skinny. It is Nicola Coughlan, who is literally like on the biggest stage right now because she's the romantic lead character in Bridgerton. Like, and she's not a fat girl, right? Like, it is. None of us are immune to it. But
okay, I have to pause really quick because I did do a thing on Nicola Coughlan. People hated that video. I got so many views for it because people loved it or hated it. And I said, Nicola Coughlan is not that fat, but she is not plus size. And I've had people come on and say, well, of course she's plus size. She's fat. And I'm like, no. She's an itty bitty person who is wearing, quote, straight size clothing because she is so short and height matters. And they never take that into account, right? But she can still be fat, even if she's wearing a medium. And not that any of this matters. A lot of it's so subjective, but she's also confusing the terms because to her, I don't think anybody's fat unless they're also plus sized.
True. When I think too, they're doing that again. It's universal. Every single woman has an issue. It's like, that's not true.
No.
It isn't true. And they certainly don't have that issue to where it affects how they are eating.
Yeah.
They may have body image issues or questions about it. It may be somewhat universal for anybody to care about their appearance. That's true.
Yeah.
But for that caring about appearance to go into something that we cannot speak of, that is not anywhere near close to universal. That's not true. And it is definitely the case with these three. I don't have a doubt in my mind that they all have it.
Yep.
It's very obvious.
At the same time, I think what that was years and years and years of watching everyone else talk about my body, right? And in an indirect way, but talking about my body and tell me that I wasn't okay, that there was something bad about me, that I was inherently bad. It was all of that wrapped into like, okay, well, now South Park said it. South Park made a joke about it. So it wasn't so much for Lizzo, it was for all of us. I was just fucking devastated for all of us. I was like,
no, and that's a horrible, horrible mindset. So and this has to be stated, it's a terrible mindset to have because it creates an impossible standard that it's just reinforcement. It will never be good enough for me to stop. It will never be enough.
Yeah.
That's what she's saying.
They weren't just attacking Lizzo. They were attacking all of us. Yeah.
If you say anything, it's not even just her experience. It's any other, probably even person's experience. It's probably not even limited to just women. It's anybody else's experience. She will use it because she will reach for anything. And that's how you can have, at a time in America when it is the most acceptable to be fat that it probably ever has been, and let's be honest, probably ever will be, because it is not as acceptable today as it was 2 years ago. Yeah. It's not. It's going back down. If you look at it, they're worse than ever. It doesn't matter. And let that sink in. If you do not have this problem, let it be known. It doesn't matter how good it is, because it is not about all of society or whatever. It is an internal mental health issue. It does tend to run in families. It's especially prevalent within family systems. That is true. Yeah. That's real. Yeah. And it is within friendships and personal connections that you have in your life. That's where it manifests, and that's where it's most important. But even if you don't have any of that, you can still go online and find it. And you always will be able to. And so it still goes back to you. And again, I will say it's not anybody's fault that they were traumatized. But it is a problem if you are relying on a toxic coping mechanism and you are not fighting it at all.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got to say.
I love your rants. They're very informative. Yes, it's that one.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
An A. Where are we safe? And it's not like I was expecting South Park to be our safe space. I'm not naive to that.
So
but I was
you
like,
will always have an excuse.
Leave Lizzo alone.
Yeah.
You don't get that reference, do you? The leave Britney alone thing. No, it's okay.
Yeah.
You do?
Leave Britney?
Yeah.
Britney Spears.
Yeah.
But can you picture the video of the guy
video,
saying it?
Chris Crocker.
Yeah.
Leave
Okay.
Britney alone.
And he's like crying.
Yes. All right. We're not that far apart in age.
Thanks, girl. I had to think for a minute though, but
it's okay.
But we need to put it in the record. She got the reference. It happened today.
Today's date is.
Did you want to add on to Lizzo's story, or should I move us along?
I was just gonna say Lizzo's not the only celebrity to get it. You know, obviously it was the most recent with South Park, but she's not the only one.
No.
Yeah. I think that's obviously like using her messaging and what she's done for the space and what kind of messaging she's put out there being kind of turned on its head with this Ozempic discussion that's happening, right? But I recently read an article too about Tus Holiday and how when she came out with her diagnosis and experience with it, basically she was told exactly what you were told. It's like denying you're experiencing it, like dismissing it as a reality. And she's like, actually, it is very much a real thing. And more people need to talk about it so we don't have one like monolith or one narrative we only expect with right?
Yep.
Like, and I think that's something.
I just want to say really quick, we're going to be muting some of these words that they're saying. And just so you know, it has to do with the toxic ritualistic behaviors, but the other side of the spectrum where there is reduction.
And where they're claiming they have that because they're ignoring the fact that B followed by E followed by D also has reductive, that's a good way to say it.
Yeah.
Reductive aspects to it. It is one of the 3 pillars of it.
Yeah. And guys, by the way, that word is way safer, I found, rather than RESTRICTION. Did I spell that right? You know what I mean. But yeah, that one is
reduction.
Yeah, reduction's better. Yeah.
It's a part of BINGE as well, which is always conveniently ignored, unless if it's brought up as that's why I can't ever do it because then I'll be in it. No, honey, you likely do not have that one. You likely have the more obvious one. Stop clouding it. Yeah, it doesn't help people.
That I am experiencing more. I
have more to say.
Alex, come
idea.
I had a lot of very reductive phases throughout my experience. It obviously is not the majority of the time, but they lasted a long time. Sometimes it lasts a year. So no.
And it was not the same as like calorie counting to healthily lose weight.
No, it wasn't. And they can be long.
Yeah.
Typically it was the whole thing, a whole cycle was around 6 months. But it's this one, right?
Yeah.
But it happened a lot.
Of really wanting to keep fat, plus size stories, narrative experiences as like one thing that's expected.
But it was always followed by a BING and a long one too.
To hear that fat people have, and really pushing back against fat people having more varied experiences and like having to reckon with the fact that like not all fat people experience the same things. And so
fat people experience the same things, Alex.
Publicly fat, there's certain ways people are allowed to show up and it's acceptable to show up that way, and then there's certain ways that people aren't, and it's going to get a lot of pushback. You know, like no one in the bigger society, not necessarily in like plus size positive spaces or plus size accepting spaces, no one is going to come for me if I were to go on some weight loss show.
No.
You know, no one's going to come for me.
So that's just not true. Her own community would come for her.
That's true.
So she's already wrong. Yeah. I don't need to like expand on that. We just know it's a lie.
They're going to cheer you on. They're going to support you. They're going to say how brave you are.
Because you're performing
health.
You're performing health. You're performing public Shame. You're performing whatever. You're being a
The
good
performance
fatty,
is a part
right?
of
But meanwhile, these
toxic
people are like,
ritualistic.
again, it goes back to them being like,
it's not real.
No, that's not true. Motherfucker. Who are you? Who are you to be like, oh no, Tus Holiday doesn't have.
Yeah, a bunch of doctors apparently said that she does. Like,
she looked for the ones that would tell her what she wanted to hear.
Yeah. And sometimes they'll say doctor, and what they mean is a person at a clinic. And I have a whole series of videos about how clinics are basically run by people who also have these behaviors.
Oh, yes, you do.
I know.
You do.
Check it out.
That's also a good point.
I don't understand how we can sit here, not we, but how people collectively can sit there and I could literally sit here and be like, I have no idea what my blood type is, but Melissa, I have type O negative blood. And you just be like, no, you don't. How the fuck would you know?
So this was part of my notes for today is there's an aspect of being publicly fat and not performing health. I think the not performing health is so important to everything we've talked about and everything we're going to continue to talk about. So I know for me, in like my lived experience, I had a hard time getting family fully bought in and understanding what I was doing because I wasn't performing what they thought health should look like. Right? It's only now when they can see I'm actually doing much better that they're like, oh, I kind of get it now, you know? And I get that. Someone you love is doing the exact opposite of everything you've learned to be true. Like, I bet that is a hard point of view, right? I bet that is difficult. But for people on the internet who have no...
I really would need details to know.
I know. They love to talk around subjects, and it's their feelings about things, because if they had specific examples, they would just tell specific examples.
Yes, and there could be a lot poked through that.
Yeah.
It's not good to do unhealthy reduction. It's not. It doesn't matter what's going on. I've talked about it a lot on my channel. Typically, you have to build up nutrient stores and you need to prepare for WL. I know YouTube is really edgy, but you have to prepare. You have to prepare your body. It is a task. It is stressful, but you prepare. And it's never good to do too much of that. But it's also obviously true on the other side.
I love what she ended it on. But people on the internet, let's see what you say about that.
Relationship with you, no connection with you.
So then why do you care?
And the fact that they're looking for us or people in bigger bodies to be performing health is so wrong.
Emotional
on so many levels.
I'm not pausing it, but look at this.
And it's so...
You said literally exclusive. They don't know you. Why do you care?
Right? Because the way we think about health and fitness is not inclusive. We think about one body type that's fully, what's the word I'm looking for? Able, I guess, you know, fully able. It doesn't translate to people who maybe be in a wheelchair, who maybe only have one arm, who maybe only have one leg. It doesn't change for people in larger bodies. It doesn't even change for people in really small bodies. Like, there's no muscle built there, right? Like, we have an idea of what it needs to look like. And it's only okay if everyone who doesn't look like that is working towards looking like that.
Yeah. So I want to bring up disability because I'm always the perfect person to talk about this. Okay. I actually have a disability. It does make it difficult to work out. Alex will tell you, like, this whole trip, I've needed like times where I need to like lay down and like rest my limbs because I get overexerted. And it's definitely a large part due to the fact that I'm like, you know, still fat, but also it's just that my joints and things just don't work as well as, you know, other people's do. So I just need more recovery time. Now, it's interesting that she's bringing up people with one arm and like people with who can't walk. She's talking about what we call like visible like disabilities. And that's a very obvious one to tie into all these things. But then she moves on to invisible disabilities. They're completely different. They're completely different topics, because you're gonna she's saying that because you're gonna hear, oh yeah, someone with one arm. Well, we can see that person has one arm. Nobody's making that expectation of somebody with one arm, you know. And so like, but she's then trying to drag it into invisible disability or different body types. They're not comparable things. And even with someone like me who has like what they call it, the invisible disability, it still does not, it's still not relatable to what this is. I know it's really frustrating for me. I have a really hard time like putting into words, but like, how would you see that?
I just say the easiest way to put it is weight is separate from it.
Yeah.
Weight is within control.
Yeah.
And weight is separate. And weight often, when it's too high or too low, to be honest, but of course we're focusing on too high on this channel, it is a complication. It is gasoline on a fire of any problems that you have.
Yeah.
Lisa's problems are made worse due to being overweight.
It's true.
They can be helped by losing weight.
Yeah.
Advocating for disabled people to be as big as possible is not helpful to anybody who is disabled. No. It is two separate things, and they should not be compared.
Yeah. Thank you for putting the words, because even I, in my cold heart, get frustrated and overwhelmed when I hear this BS.
It's really bad.
Yeah. And it's like, I just watching her get emotional too. That was also frustrating me, because I was like, you don't have my disability, you know, so stop speaking for me.
Yeah. Yes.
Exactly.
And to that, I say, we can do better. Society
Nicer
can
than what
do
I would
better.
say.
Go ahead. What would you say?
Fuck that.
Yeah.
No.
So I think that's the part of this conversation that is the hardest to talk about.
Yeah.
It's the performing health. Again, I'm taking great care of myself right now and my health, and I don't need anyone to know anything about that. It doesn't change the fact that it's true.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't change the fact that I'm doing the work. And it also,
then maybe don't make your activism about it, please.
Yeah.
Maybe be a private person, because this is almost like a kind of gaslighting she's doing to people.
Yeah.
This is very toxic.
Well, yeah, they've been gaslighting the whole time. Like, even when she was making her speech about disabled people, that was gaslighting, because she was conflating very obvious, like, visible disabilities that people can see with their eyeballs. Nobody expects a man with like one leg to just go bodybuilding. Right. You know?
It's horrible.
So it doesn't change the fact that I know that there's still growth I want to make in my health journey that I'm still working on, but it's no one's business.
Yeah.
Right? I'm working on it for myself, because
you're making it
I want it for me, not as a performatory measure. So I'm an acceptable.
This whole thing is a performance.
100%.
Right? I'm working on it for me.
100%.
Then why are you on the internet talking about it?
She shouldn't be. Then quit.
Again, you know,
then you need to quit.
Going back to what we dealt with over the last couple of weeks, like, so many people commenting like, oh, stop trying to convince us that you're happy. Stop trying to convince us that you're this. Stop trying to convince us. Baby, I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I do not care about you. This isn't for you. You know what I mean? Like,
then why are you even addressing them?
I know. Then why are you
think
even
I
doing
didn't really
any of
like.
it?
Yeah.
I don't know. You just kind of helped me put that into words, but like,
why are you complaining about them?
There's so many, like, stop trying to convince. Honey, I'm not here for you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to convince the girl who's still like the old me. I'm trying to convince everybody.
I'm going to reinforce it in other people, which is why I'm here.
That's
why I'm here.
So toxic.
To speak against you.
I'm trying to convince everybody that they're allowed to take up all the space they want to take up, that they don't need to be afraid to show cellulite or arm rolls, which I know that I still have struggle with. You know, we're all human, right? But we're all doing the damn thing. But like, I'm getting you to wear shorter fucking skirts, and I love that for me.
Yeah, like, I do love that though. Rebecca in short skirts and dresses is
Skies out. This is the summer of Skies Out, Thighs Out for Rebecca.
Rebecca,
we are here to support it, and we're working on Alyssa next. But no, I just like, again, this putting this narrative into my own mouth. Right? Stop trying to convince us, baby girl. I'm not I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I would like to convince you to go the fuck away. That is what I would like to do.
Then why are you doing it? Then you're not an activist. She needs to get out of the kitchen. She can't cook. I'm serious. She's really pissing me off. And that's where I get a little triggered because it's just, like as an activist, that really pisses me off. Like imagine if I was like, I don't care. I'm not trying to convince you guys of anything.
Then why are you even doing YouTube?
Then why
Make it a personal channel.
Here? Yeah, go do a vlog and then bitch about how people just don't like you as a person because you're just not likable anyways.
But like,
I'm just living.
I am trying to let people know that it is
like,
okay to be exactly who they want to be. And that is it.
Yeah.
That
Unless
is it.
if they
And
want to lose
if
weight.
that infuriates you, you need to look inside, sir.
Yeah. I'm thinking as we wrap up that just kind of like where I'm sitting here thinking about is it's hard to be publicly fat.
Yeah.
For
The
me,
moral.
it feels absolutely necessary to my well-being and to creating a space where I am feeling good and safe in. So it's vital to me in my life and what I need for myself. But I could do better in terms of supporting other people who are also creating those spaces. We talked a little bit about, like people came to Allie when she was in the thick of it, but where are people's support when it's not in such a dire situation, And I'm sitting there thinking, well, me too. Like I engage people and all that, but I could support people who are doing this work because it can be lonely work. So that's one of the things I'm thinking about as we wrap this topic up.
I think since you brought that up, that's something I haven't been able to stop thinking about. Because yes, there was so much support that came from, honestly, from me being extremely vulnerable after it all happened and putting out like a 10-minute video that was like, hey guys, I'm only human and this hurt, right? But there were so many people that came out of the woodwork that never.
I felt that sigh in my soul.
Okay, that's I too. But which is it though? Do you not care? Do you not care about the comments you're getting, or does it hurt?
All I can tell you is if I was dealing with somebody in anti-FA and they were acting like her, I don't think I could work with someone like her.
No.
Because it's all about her.
No. Yeah.
It's not about the cause. It's not about the movement. It's not about the task at hand. It's about her.
No.
And that's the worst.
Very annoying.
It's so awful.
Yeah.
Ever. And I'm not just saying not just from our own fat community, but like family members who never interact with my content were interacting. People who are, friends of friends who never interact with my content were interacting with my content. And I love it and thank you. I'm so appreciative of it. And I'm doing this work every day. Even on the days where I don't show you that it's really fucking hard, it is still really fucking hard some days. So like, yes, I want to see us, I can even do better, right? Because I spend a majority of time on Instagram just like scheduling out or like drafting out stuff that I need to post and then just going through and liking a whole bunch of stuff. And I have over the past week like tried so much harder to like really like comment and engage with people and DM and have conversations, right? Because we are all out here doing this very hard work. But I do want to see like,
sorry, I'm just so, she's really triggering me. Like
hard work, Alex. Hard work is going on Instagram and liking and commenting and having DMs.
Hard work is having an emotional reaction and deleting comments about your teeth. That's hard work. I mean, come on. I'm just the way that I feel. We always talk about Enneagram. We're really cheesy.
Yeah.
She's pissing off my 5 wing. I'm like, I just am seeing complete incompetence.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Well, I would think she's an Enneagram 3 or something close to it, wouldn't she?
She's either that or a 4.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm a 4.
Yeah, well, with at least a 3 wing. And so like with that I'm being triggered on the 3 side because she's saying hard work and I'm like, who works hard in a 3?
Right.
Yeah. And so like I actually know what hard work looks like because I work, you even said in their video that I was a hard worker. Yes. Right? Yeah.
it's the part of me, which I feel like, you know, people might understand, like, let's say you're really good at cooking and you're just watching somebody completely bomb.
That's me.
That's how I'm feeling as an activist watching her. It is enraging me.
Yeah, I can like directly relate to that metaphor in a very real way, where I am very good at cooking, and when I watch people bomb cooking, it's just like
that's how I feel. It's triggering my logical side, not my emotional side. It's like, oh my gosh. And all I can say is, like I said, I would never work with an activist like that ever. That is horrible.
My goodness.
I do want to see more of not just being there for each other in times of crisis. I just want to see more of us being there for each other. You know,
just have friends and family.
I think we're ready.
As you were talking, I like
started
getting like
so weird,
heart palpitations and heart
racing.
Real
life. Like that's just having a relationship with people. That isn't being an activist. Like it's your fault that your relationships are a problem. Like work.
Okay. Wow, this feels very, very vulnerable right now.
It takes work.
She's crying.
Okay.
Forget the cameras. It's just us.
Yeah. So
no, it's not.
Before
I'm sorry, I said ignore but no, it's not. It's, ignore the cameras. It's just us. It's not.
No, it isn't.
We do a podcast episode. We either sit in person and kind of just have like a bullet point conversation, and we really do try to keep to bullet points, because if we don't, we'll literally do a whole podcast recording before we're even in this studio, and that's on friendship. Okay. I'm using my defense mechanism.
I think you and I are pretty good friends, and we're good at staying on topic.
Yes, we can get things done too, and we can acknowledge what's public versus private, what's an activistic thing versus what's personal. We don't have to have personal conversations online.
No.
And we can compartmentalize appropriately.
So ridiculous.
Okay. So it was last night, and I had not put any notes into our drive yet, and Rebecca kind of went in there and her notes were in there, and Allie's notes cracked me up because she started with,
you didn't hear that? I was to people slamming their freaking doors. Okay, you don't have to slam a door in a hotel. You can close it gently.
Everything, and Rebecca said, and also, and then she put her notes. But Rebecca kind of started her notes. And at the top of it, it said, what is it like being publicly fat? So I went to go start writing my notes, and I ended up writing a journal entry. And then when I looked back, I actually ended up writing a poem. And I'm not a poet. I'm not a writer. And that's why this feels very
keep it together,
vulnerable to share. But I feel like it does
writer.
I'm just going to read it.
I hope it's good. I really do.
I am fat. Tell me, what other choices do I have? Lose weight? Shrink myself? I spent 20 years trying to do just that. Diet to diet, gym to gym, trying to find anything that would help me shrink. I am publicly fat. Tell me, what other choices do I have? Hide in my house? Never take a picture? I spent years doing just that, and it didn't help me be any less publicly fat. I am publicly fat, and I am liberated. Tell me, what other choices do I have? Spend the rest of my life hating myself? Be so paralyzed by shame that I waste a life? I'm publicly fat, I am liberated, and I am happy. Tell me.
You look so happy. Oh my God.
There are so many other choices. Bullet point 1, a caloric deficit, a healthful caloric deficit. It will help with the weight loss. Oh my gosh. Bullet point 2, you can just be a normal person. You can get over the toxic ritualistic, go out, live your life. Don't think about it constantly all the time. And what was her third one? Oh, I'm liberated.
Yeah.
What choice? There's plenty of choices there. I don't know. That's just your own emotions.
When they talk about liberate, I really think they're just making a reference to fat liberation. And so it's the whole idea of like, she's no longer held back by societal standards of fat. And it's like, if that were true, why are they so emotional? If you're so happy, why do Why is everybody tearing up?
Mhm.
You could say it's happy tears, but no, you're having an emotional reaction.
Yeah. When that's just, I don't know. I don't understand that myself because I don't feel how I feel based on how other people feel. Like, that's just not me.
No.
So it's not connecting
Me
to
either.
me.
Why does that bother you?
Oh, this is not over yet.
Oh
Because it's a lie.
my
Yeah.
God.
I have an answer like that.
I'm so happy I know you.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, so I want to do a hot take on the poem real quick. It reminds me of like those slam poetry things. She had a little more oomph putting into it with the why does it bother you? I'm fat. With like the aggressiveness, like, right?
Yeah.
But it's poetry, like all writing, is meant to reveal truths.
Mhm.
It's not meant to reinforce lies.
Yes.
And so that's the problem that I had. That's why I care.
Yes.
Because when you're using it to reinforce lies, you're really like, you're actually like crapping on the essence of poetry.
Yes, I agree. That's very true.
Yeah, it annoys me.
And it's just toxic ritualistic reinforcement, which it is internal, and it happens mostly internally. And it's propaganda because it is based on a lie.
Yeah. We're reaching the end. We're almost done.
I know.
Same.
Right.
That is so beautiful.
Thank you.
And I'm so thankful you shared it with us.
Yeah.
And what other choice do we have?
Hashtag same.
So many choices.
I am unwell right now.
I am well. I am well.
Surprise.
I'm just gonna watch them cry for a bit, I guess.
You so beautifully articulated again, like the necessity of this, and that you are these things.
She did. That's true.
And that the alternatives.
She absolutely showed me the necessity of what I need to do.
I just want to say really quick, I have one more thing to add. This kind of reminds me of, I don't have the thing that we always talk about, the behavior, but it does remind me of when I hear bad writers reinforce other bad writers. I'm like, it's so beautiful. It's so well written. I'm over here being like, that was terrible.
No.
And it's like, and it's more to do with wanting to reinforce a friendship than actually provide any sort of realistic feedback to the writing. Because if you did, you would harm the friendship instead of real friendship.
Yes.
It's not.
That's true.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I think it transfers perfectly to the behavior system.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
And they also did not result in you not being fat.
Yeah.
And that, again, you are choosing.
Just reinforce those lies, girl. You got it. We got it right here.
Choosing to show up and live your life.
Look at them.
And that
go.
happens to be as a fat person.
Mm-hmm.
And look what you're doing with it.
Yeah.
I teach writing, and I'm just going to go ahead and say you're a writer.
I don't think it's a good way to be.
Now you're 3 triggered.
No, but it's exactly what I just said.
Yes.
I'm a writer and you're a writer. It's like the reinforcing of bad writing.
Yes.
I just said that. I'm sorry. I'm having a moment of glee, actually, of like making that prediction. I had no idea she was a writer.
I just am like, I feel like you could be as triggered as a writer as I was as an activist.
I know.
With the other girl.
Oh my God.
That's really scarring. But I mean, I always say toxic ritualistic mindsets, they can shift to other areas of life. So, and it looks like it's right there. She's reinforced bad writing, just like you reinforced the bad logic.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't care about her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think it was. I just think it was lies. That's how I feel.
You're a writer.
There isn't.
I think you are a writer.
You're right.
But
And
I
I
also
think that was beautiful.
It was a beautiful poem.
Fuck.
I did tear up.
Oh,
I saw it.
I teared up.
It's okay.
It takes an act of a miracle to actually have it drop out in front of my eyes.
No, I saw it. Can confirm, everybody. Rebecca did tear up.
But I think what I just felt is like, I resonated with what you said.
yeah.
and then be like, I just felt so proud of you.
Oh, thank you. I know I'm still actively working on truly feeling those things, like, you know, like the shame is probably like the biggest thing to continue to battle, because it just comes in so many different forms from so many different places. But I know right now I'm doing the right thing for me. Like, I know this is the right thing. I know this is the right space. And I don't even know, we don't even need to go past this point.
Right there.
This is like so therapeutic and healing to like me as a person that like I wouldn't change this. So I'm very, very thankful for people who listen and engage with our content, because it is so unbelievably healing for me, because it feels even safer than therapy does, you know, because sometimes in therapy, my therapist really do be telling me to do stuff I'm scared of, you know?
Yeah.
Here I just get to
okay. So sorry, 1 second. As somebody who's also in therapy for other various reasons, therapists are supposed to challenge you because you're the reason why you're there is there's something wrong with your thought process. Now, people really mistake therapy as being about, you know, let's fix some problem that I don't have. Like it's like my problem's not actually my problem. A lot of people go for that. It's like, no, you actually have a problem, and it's typically we're changing the way that you think in therapy in order to be able to deal with that problem. That's what it is. So the fact that she said that it made her feel unsafe, there is no situation in therapy where you feel unsafe, and it's being challenged in your way that you're thinking makes you feel unsafe. Like, what does that say? Like that transfers to a real life there.
Yes. And I also think too, my criticism of therapy involving this issue is you have to actually fight with people.
Yeah.
Because people are terrified of thinking differently. You have to talk people down a ledge sometimes, like, you know, so to speak, in this issue, because people do not think rationally. They're not with the program. And sometimes you have to like snap them back. And I feel like in therapy, they're just concerned about you coming back. They're not concerned about solving the issue sometimes.
Well, yeah, I think that can be true for some therapists. I think what the real issue is, because I've thought about this a lot, is that you have to know what your issue is when you go to therapy.
That's also very true.
And so a lot of times what happens with therapists, it feels like they want you to keep coming back because they're trying to narrow down what that issue is. And if you're not actually admitting it to yourself, it's difficult for them to figure it out. So they keep going and going and going and going, and nothing ever gets solved. Now, I've had 2 successful therapists. The first one, horrible, left immediately because I'm like, I'm not dealing with this. And then I waited like 6 years, and I finally went back and I did CBT therapy. But by that point, I figured out what the issue was, but I had no idea how to handle it.
Right.
And so, and she's like, well, this is great. You know exactly what it is, and it sounds like this is the thing, and I can give you this program, and it's going to be this many weeks to do it, and maybe you'll take a few extra weeks. And once we got to the end of the program, she's like, there's nothing left I can do for you. I still think you have this problem. You should find a therapist that specializes in this. I did. Good. Exactly.
Yeah, that's helpful.
And the next therapist, she's like, what's your goal? Where are we trying to get you? She's like, because she was like, great. She's like, you correctly identify the issue. Let's fix that issue in the way you think about it and how your body reacts. And once we get to this goal point, you'll be done.
Yes.
And so, but that's only because I had to do so much internal work first. I wasn't there being like, well, it could be this or it could be that. It's like, that's what's going to keep you coming back forever when therapy does not work at all. And when it comes to this disorder,
you can be delusional yourself.
Delusional.
That's hard.
You're lying to yourself. You're lying to others. How can a therapist help you if you're lying to them?
And I hate to say it, but I wish therapists would consider appearance.
Definitely.
Because especially if it's so obvious. And, you know, I understand at different sizes, it's not always obvious, but with them, it's very obvious. I'm sorry.
And also, and I also specifically think that this disorder in particular is unhelped by therapy simply because for 2 reasons. The first one is a lot of people who are doing it in the clinics, the therapists in the clinics also have the disorder.
That's true.
And they're also the ones doing the education. So even if you don't have the disorder and they're doing therapy for it, they're being educated by people who do. And so it's kind of already rooted in there. Fortunately for me, I don't have a disorder. I have actual things that can be helped. And so that's why it works for me. But it's not going to, like, if you don't, you need that two things.
And if they do have it, they're going to be driven to go into that industry and reinforce because it is a part of it, unfortunately. So I wouldn't say people think of it as a contagion. It's not a contagion. People intuitively feel when the other person has it, they know. And so then they push it onto that person.
Yeah.
And the scariest thing is if they see somebody who has it get out.
Yeah.
And they hate that.
Yeah.
And that's where you can see who has it.
Because it means that they can get out and
and they can't. It's too scary.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's very hard.
That was a good rant.
Yes,
we did.
It was.
Share the experience, and I don't got to do any more work past that. And there is something, releasing about that. So
I do just want to
dead air.
I just want to give you your flowers right now and tell you that even though your words, it was beautiful. It was so beautiful. I'm still fucking crying. We're all about, what other choice do I have? You are proof that there were other choices.
Yeah.
And you've made an incredible choice for yourself. We've all made incredible choices for ourselves.
Incredible choice to stay unhealthy.
But you have made an incredible choice for yourself. To fucking live.
Yeah.
Well.
So just, you're great.
You're great. We're not going to end this episode not crying, so I feel like we just got to do we're fat.
I think we're going to have to end this, and people are going to go cry and hug. So.
Wow. Welly, baby.
We're fat.
We're friends. We're a fucking mess.
See, this is why you forget where it's from, because you never watch it again.
I don't. I always gotta get
out. And we are. What was the last word? Fabulous.
Yeah.
We are, in fact, fabulous.
Oh my God.
And you are too.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Wow.
I'm editing it out there. We're doing a little nice jump cut.
Wow.
I'm so glad you got to see at the end what happens. We're fat.
Do you see why I don't last till the end, though?
I know.
Because I was dying.
I'm a completionist.
I was dying. I was like,
we're fat. We're friends. And we're fabulous.
The emotional pitch I'm leaving that with is like I had just read the book 1984 or like I just saw the movie. I mean, it's oh gosh. And I feel like people who have been in it, you probably understand how it's so awful to hear things you used to believe. Yeah. It's so horrifying. Yeah. It really is. But here we are.
I kind of wish Eric was here so we could do the outro. I don't know if he wants to come over and do it. Eric?
Oh, he doesn't. He's probably listening to something.
He's like I'm ignoring you people.
Anyways. All right, guys.
Yeah, that was it. I don't know what we're gonna that was just a lot of crying at the end, and I've been overstimulated because I have no emotions. And
for me, it like I said, I told you the emotional pitch. All I can tell you guys to end with is you can get out. You can recover. If you want to, you can.
Yeah.
So do it. Don't be like them. I hope that we could help point out the ridiculousness. Yeah. I have the experience of having had the problem and she doesn't.
Yeah.
So she can provide like a total outsider view. I appreciate that. I like working with you on these two. Somebody did request we do their newest one, so maybe we should.
I know. Together. We'll have to do that from either we're gonna do that remotely or we're gonna do it from Nashville. I know. We'll see if we're still friends by that point.
Oh my gosh.
We've gotten along this whole trip. 6 nights in the same hotel room. There's still time though.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, you guys.
Yeah.
I do want to do that episode with you.
Yes, of course.
So we'll do it.
Yeah.
But anyways, I will talk to you guys later.
Bye.